The second part of this first unit, we want to explore the relationship between creativity and intelligence and how to distinguish them basing on the most important studies on creativity and intelligence. The first studies on creativity date back to the second half of the 19th century and focused on the biological and hereditary basis of talent. Francis Galton, that you can see here on the left, was Charles Darwin's cousin, and he tried to demonstrate that the variations that could be observed in human intelligence were the product of genetically determined biological processes. So he wrote this book called Hereditary Genius in 1869. The creative trait, the individual characteristic of geniuses, was also associated at that time with the irrational part of human psyche, with the mental illness. Exemplary in this sense is Lombroso's contribution, an Italian researcher, Lombroso, in 1894, Genius and Madness, in which the man of genius, the criminal, and the insane are united since they are divergent and deviant in relation to the general population. In the 20th century, Lewis Terman, that you can see here below on the left, of Stanford University, initiated an extensive research program to establish the factors influencing creativity and talent. In 1925, he published the first volume of his work, Genetic Studies of Genius, a survey based on a sample of 1,300 intellectually gifted children, who showed that there were no direct link between IQ and success in adulthood. This conclusion was also supported by the retrospective study of genius by Terman's assistant, Catherine Cox, that you can see here on the right below, who published a book called The Early Mental Traits of 300 Geniuses in 1926. Cox discovered that the successes of people who had made major contributions in the various fields of culture, politics, art, and science depended not so much on their IQ, but on the persistence of motivation and commitment, on confidence on one's own ability and creativity skills. Creativity was for a long time identified with intelligence, and it was not until the 1950s that research in this field received a decisive boost thanks to the American psychologist Joy Paul Guilford, who in 1959, as an outgoing president of the American Psychological Association, launched an appeal for the study of creativity. It was the period of the Cold War, and both Americans and Russians were struggling for the space exploration. Guilford said, if we want to land first on the moon, we have to rethink our educational system, and we have to foster those abilities like creative thinking that are normally neglected in schools. Guilford created a multifactorial model of the structure of the intellect. According to his theory, a given mental task can involve any of the 5 possible kinds of mental operation: cognition, memory, divergent production, convergent production, and evaluation. Then 5 different kinds of mental representations or contents, like visual, auditory, symbolic, semantic, and behavioral contents, and 6 different kinds of products, units, classes, relations, systems, transformations, and implications. We do not know if we should thank Guilford for man landing on the moon, but certainly In the following years, creativity studies flourished, and after 70 years, the concept has grown to a complex semantic galaxy.